Well, greetings, everybody. This is going to be a little different presentation. You're going to greetings. We're going to look at something today that's a little bit different. Greetings. We're going to look at something today that's a little bit different, but it might be useful. It's a presentation I call ACES, ACES, which is an abbreviation for what I think is a formula for the secret of happiness. And maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Greetings, everybody. This presentation, which may be worth its weight in gold or not, is called ACES, ACES, which is an abbreviation for a formula that I think will bring you happiness. And so I've titled this The Secret of Happiness. Now, it's not the kind of secret which you have to hide, which nobody can know about. In fact, it's a secret you want to share with people once you find out about it. Now, we see a lot of different moods used by people to express who they are or how they feel, these emojis. Now, which one are you mostly? Are you mostly number one, kind of happy? Or number two, I don't know, he's a little bit perhaps sad, I don't know. Number three, oh, he's really sad, crying his eyes out. Number four, he's just plain depressed. And number five, which we all are sometimes, is angry, wants to bite your head off. And, maybe depending on the day, we might be any of these. Which one are you mostly? Happy, bored, sad, depressed, or angry? Or maybe you get really angry sometimes, like this guy. He's so angry, everybody wants to run away from him. So we'll lock him up for the time being because I don't think it's safe to have him running around loose. Now, the secret of happiness has been something people have been searching for forever. Back to the ancient times when people would try to come up with what the real secret of being happy was and teach other people. Here's a Chinese saying or Chinese discussion. He says, "Master, what is the secret to happiness?" And the master says, not to argue with idiots. I wonder if he's implying that this guy is an idiot. I don't think so. If you're interested in that secret of happiness, you're not an idiot. This is kind of okay. This woman's walking along a trail, having a nice time out somewhere along the Pacific Trail, looks like. And she says the secret to being happy is accepting where you are and making the most of it. Well, a certainly happier person would accept where they are than wanting to be something they're not. So maybe that is the secret. Maybe we can stop here. This is kind of funny. The secret of happiness is a good sense of humor and a bad memory. I can go along with that. Some of the bad things that have happened to you, it's best to forget them. And lots of times, a good joke will save the day. Here, a secret of happiness is letting every situation be what it is instead of what you think it should be. That's pretty good. That's like the one on the picture with the woman hiking on the trail. Just accept what's happening. If it's raining, it's raining. Don't stomp around the house saying, I wish the sun was out. I want to go on a picnic. And the secret of happiness in this case is not in doing what one likes, but in liking what one does. Well, you can think of that as a job you might have. And lots of people have a job. They're probably lucky these days to have a job with the virus and everything. And they're saying, I hate this job. I don't like this job. I don't like my boss. I wish I was doing something else. But the happier person is saying, yeah, I like this. This is, maybe they work in a dog kennel. Maybe they're taking care of animals. And they like doing that, even though it might be smelly. Maybe they got bitten once. But the point is, they're happy doing what they're doing and not trying to do something else. So the formula for happiness. Well, it's not this. I was never good at math, so I don't know. I wouldn't even be able to figure that out. I'd be very unhappy because I couldn't figure out the secret of happiness. Maybe it's this. How would you like this, 7-8 layer hamburger? Well, it looks pretty good, but you'd probably get cholesterol and die of a heart attack. So probably that's not the thing. But everybody has an idea of what would make them happy. And for a lot of people, it's this: money. Give me the money. Show me the money. I'll be happy if I'm a millionaire. Well, you go talk to a lot of millionaires. I think you'll find that most of them aren't really happy and they want more money, but the more money doesn't make them more happy. What's the problem with being happy if you're rich? Well, the problem is if you don't have a lot of money, you're not happy. And it's hard to get a lot of money. So if the only way you're going to be happy is to be rich, you might be very frustrated. And how do you get there? People who want to be rich, you talk to the young people and they say, I want to be rich. I want to be a rock star. I want to be an NBA professional. I want to own a yacht. But, to actually get there, it's like this maze. It's hard to find your way. And here we have this formula. And in science, the more complex formula might be the one that works. But I've got a different formula, and it's a lot simpler. A, C, E, S, ACES. And don't worry, I'll explain. I'll tell you, that E isn't really happy. They're all dancing around and he's just standing there, shuffling his feet. Maybe he's not happy because he's not red. He's green. Maybe he'd be happier if he's stuck on the side of a truck. So now we'll just take a minute And look at this peaceful scene, a stream through the woods. I used to live next to a stream. It was peaceful. I could just sit there on a rock and look at it, and I'd be happy. Don't ask me why or how, but that's the way it was. Are you getting happy yet? Keep looking. Oh, that dog, I think, is depressed. All right. So now that we're all relaxed and happy, let's take a look at the ACEs. A equals anticipation. C equals creation. E equals exhibition. S equals satisfaction. That's the formula. But I'll have to explain because this isn't a formula. You can just write it on a paper and recite it in the morning and say, wow, ACES. Now I'm happy. No, it doesn't work that way. So anticipation. Anticipation is looking forward to something. I wonder what she's anticipating. Looking forward to something coming in the mail? The school bus? Who knows? But she's looking forward to something. And here's Linus. He's obviously waiting for the mail. Don't know exactly why. Anticipation, not just waiting, but looking forward to something. And we all know that when there's a party or a holiday and we're getting gifts, we anticipate what's inside, the unknown. And it makes us happy. We're not happy about what's in there, in the mailbox, or Linus in his mailbox, or that girl in her present. We're happy looking forward to what's in there. And a family vacation doesn't have to be a thing. Let's say your family says, hey, we're going to the ocean in September. And so you're saying, wow, it's only July. I can't wait. And you start crossing off the days. You anticipate working things. I did a lot of work for a few years on a model railroad like this one. And you get up in the morning and you look forward to the buildings you're going to finish or something you're going to paint or something that you started that can still go on. And that anticipation makes your morning a whole lot nicer than if you got up and said, nothing happening today. These two ladies. One is saying, oh, here I am. What shall I have? Eggs and bacon, cereal, I don't know, another day. And the other lady's saying, oh boy, today I'm going to work on my quilt. I'm going to make some more done. I'll look at it at the end of the day and see how much I've accomplished. I'm really looking forward to today. Who's happier? Well, anticipation. The next is C for creation. Creation is where you make something. Not creativity, but creation. You actually sit down, make something. The sculptor is working on that statue. This poem somebody wrote didn't exist before. That's a big statue to work on. And again, back to the model railroad. Well, creation is something I did each day to create the different buildings and the different parts and all the other parts of this railroad that I created. Little by little, it took me 2 years. And so this is a form of happiness because when you make something that didn't exist before, you can say, look, something new. I made it. I did it. And you can be proud of it. And it's always better to look at something you've created that's new than to just get up and look at the wall. And the next part is exhibition. Now, exhibition sounds like something in a museum or something you do on a stage, but no, exhibition means showing, perhaps showing off, but showing your creations to other people, sharing. And when you share, you get satisfaction coming back at you because people will say, hey, that's nice. How did you make that? Or little kids say, look at that. And it can be something like landscaping. This backyard probably looked like, pardon the term, crap when the people moved in. But look what they've done. They've taken some old pipes, an old iron basin, some stones, some gravel, some plants, and they've created a whole little world. And now when people come, you see it's a bookstore, look in the back, it's a bookstore. Now when people come to their bookstore, they walk through here and they say, wow, that's great. I like this a whole lot better than a bunch of dirt. And if you're really energetic, you can create huge constructions like these skyscrapers. And why not? Don't say, oh, I can't do that. Well, the person, woman, man, team that made these things, once they were 6 years old and said, Mommy, I can't tie my shoe. Well, give it a chance. And, kids, I hope, are still into Legos or other types of things. And what if you made this set? Now, this has got to be lots and lots and lots of days or weeks of effort. But let's say you made this setup. Well, if you've got friends, they come over. Could be adults, could be kids. They come over and they look at it and they say, geez, you made that? How'd you do that? Or you know what else you can do? You can tell other people about what you've done. When my model railroad was finished, I gave talks at model railroad clubs about what I did, slideshows, pictures. I even brought some of the models for people to look at. So this is a form of exhibition. You express to other people what it is you've created. You don't say, oh, look how creative I am. You say, this is what I did. And if they've got an appreciative bone in their body, they'll say, wow, that's great. So this is what we're really talking about, exhibition. Maybe I would have said sharing, but S doesn't fit into that ACES is good as the E, so I cheated a little bit. But this is what you're talking about. Now, are you afraid to share? Yeah, some people, they don't want anybody come in their house, see what they're doing. Well, she's not happy. Because when people come to look at maybe something she did or made, she hides. But when people text each other or pass photos back and forth or share, they get a lot of good feedback. In fact, feedback is a big part of what people out there are doing using technology. You put a website up, you get feedback. You put a YouTube video up, you get feedback. And you hope it's nice feedback. Maybe she's afraid she'll get bad feedback. Go ahead, hide. And so everything you're doing, when you risk, and I'm talking about risk, when you risk sharing it, you risk whether you're going to get good or bad feedback. And you hope you'll get good, but you just have to figure, okay, maybe you'll get some bad feedback. And everything, you go online, look for a place like a hotel or something, and you'll find that people have left feedback. And maybe you'll find 5 people said it was great, we really liked the food, and 2 people said it was horrible, the staff were mean to us, and alligators got in our bed. It doesn't matter that there's some negative feedback, but you have to weigh that and decide what you want. There's no use hiding from negative feedback. But how would you feel if you didn't get any feedback? You work really hard, and the teacher gives you your paper back and says, I didn't feel like grading your paper, goodbye. You'd be really upset and sad. Because if there's no feedback, it's kind of closing your eyes. You can't see where you're going. You don't know if you're going in the right direction. So who's happier here? The kid who built his Lego set and nobody's coming to see it because he doesn't have any friends, or the kids who built this Lego set and everybody, all their friends come over and say, wow, this is great. Can we play with it too? Feedback. And feed at the front end of feed is like feed for food. So when you get positive feedback, it's like eating a pizza. And when you get negative feedback, it's like sucking on a lemon. So that's a circular feedback is a circular thing. You do something, it has an effect, and depending on the effect, you get feedback. And really, if you didn't, let's say you could, when you were 1 year old, your parents asked you, how would you like to go through life with no feedback? Which meant no negative feedback. Yeah, great. But it also means no positive feedback. Oh, not something most of us would choose. So feedback kind of gives us, it's almost like looking in a mirror. If you do something and you get positive feedback, it's like you look in the mirror and say, hey, my hair looks good. These glasses suit me. Get negative feedback, say, oh no, I've got a zit. And I had spinach caught in my teeth. Oh no. Now, a type of feedback you'll get is sometimes in your own house without even leaving the house. Let's say you want to put up a big setup on the floor. It's going to take up half the living room. And it's great fun. And your mom says, yeah, cool. Go ahead. I like that. Positive feedback. You feel good. You're enjoying it. Dad comes home. He's tired. He's irritated. He looks at that big thing in the middle of the living room and he says, you got to get that thing out of here. I can't do anything in a room that's all full of this stuff. And now you want to cry. So I suggest you go to mom. So this dog, so smart. I know all about ACEs. Nobody would let me out, so I created something on the kitchen floor. He's very creative. I wonder if I will get positive feedback. I don't think so, doggy. Nobody likes what you created on the kitchen floor. The last thing is satisfaction. Now, this isn't really totally the thing to put here, but satisfaction feeds into happiness because if all the other things have been in place, you've looked forward to something you created something, you put it out there for people to look at, and you got good feedback, now you feel good. So that's really happiness. Happiness, satisfaction. You know, some people would say they're really happy. These little guys are super happy. I wish they'd stop jumping around. But some people are just content, you know, just satisfied. And, you know, here's something I built on Roblox. When I was done, I didn't jump up and down. Even some people came around and said, wow, that's the greatest thing I ever saw. I didn't jump up and down and get all excited. I was just satisfied. I did it for myself. I'm glad it came out. People like it. End of story. I don't need to be so excited I turn flips. I built this boat model. I even put it on the web. People liked it. I didn't turn flips for that either. But I was happy that it came out well. I was happy that people liked it, and I sold it to somebody, and I was happy I had a pocket full of money. And ships in bottles. Now, you know, what kind of thing is that? Well, I've done that. And I'm happy to look at them. I'm glad I made them. The creation part of me was fulfilled, but hardly anybody sees them. So I don't get overly excited, but I'm really happy to look at them. So satisfaction, happiness, if you want to call it that, is sometimes contentment. You're just fine sitting there being satisfied. I don't know how much time kids these days, pardon the expression, because I'm old, so it's kids these days, spend just sitting there being satisfied without earpods in their ear canal, without laptop on their lap, without their phone going off on their face, just satisfied. We need time to decompress. I grew up in an age when there were none of these distractions. And so you just sit around and decompress. Now we seem to need stimulation, something zapping at us all the time. And you know, you can get worked up through overstimulation. So sometimes you need to just sit there and relax. Not like this guy. This guy needs to decompress. He needs to be happy. He needs to look at the birdie in the tree. Ooh. Hey, calm down a little bit. You like birdies? Oh, there's your friends. What do you think of that? Oh, you like your friends and the birdie? Nice to see you relaxed without being put on medications. So, contact, connections, social relationships, even remotely. You know, you could be in a big crowd. Of course, can't be in a big crowd now because you'll spread the virus and that'll be the end of the planet and civilization as we've known it. But you can communicate with your friends. On Roblox, some people have 200 friends, which is the maximum. I think I have 4. Maybe I have none. I don't know. It goes one way and the other. But the point is, sometimes when I'm playing a game, I want to share it with somebody else. I don't just want to be in there with people I don't know. So connections. So are you very unhappy? You know, if you've got a survey and it said rating from 1 to 10, what are you? Very unhappy, neither happy or unhappy, or very happy? Where would you be? Well, it varies, of course. When you're going to the dentist, you're probably a 2. And when's your birthday? You're probably a 10. So anticipation, creation. You know what, creation, this is an interesting thing because we don't create a lot of things anymore. We consume. Maybe I should have put consume in there for C. And some people, you know, consuming is happiness. Grab their credit card, go to the mall, buy something useless, and come home and look at it. But this is an important thing, creation. It really is a way of measuring who you are. This guy thinks he's a plumber. First, he's used up all his money at Home Depot, and the thing still leaks. So it could be something you build. It could even be a garden. You know, you might think, well, I planted a garden, but I don't consider I created anything. What do you mean you didn't create anything? You created a place where vegetables are growing that wasn't there before. It can be something you do, not something you make. And after you eat the vegetables and the winter comes and it's covered with snow, you'd say, oh, it's all gone. No, you can still get the satisfaction of knowing that you created something. This guy, you know, look closely now. He's creative. He has a messy room, but he has a thing printed on the screen that looks like a neat room. Now, I don't care if you agree with him or not, but he's creative. What he's created is a way to avoid his parents yelling at him about his messy room. Pretty clever. Now, creation, you might think, what? Creation, what's, there is no immortality, you know? Not going to live forever, but you can. In this book, Fahrenheit 451, there happens to be a section where he says that creation provides immortality. I don't know if this is going to play, but if not, I'll tell you anyway. It's a Plotagon video I made a few years ago. Let's see if it works. So far, so good.
The following reading is from the book Fahrenheit 4.
Okay, that's all, folks. I hope you'll be happy. And please subscribe to my channel and comment, because if this formula works for you, I want to hear about it. Thank you and good night.